The CSA is demanding an answer from the government. Food vendors say new food service containers are more costly but less functional. And the fire service receives 2 fire trucks compliments the government of Japan. That and more coming up.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Loveless and Amy Joseph.
Good night. It is Friday, the 17th of January, 2020. Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. We're on Flow, channel 117. The broadcast is also being simulcast on KISS FM. You can watch via our website, www.caribbeanhottv.com, on our free Caribbean Hot FM mobile app, or our Caribbean Hot 7 TV Facebook page. I'm lovely St. Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us. The St. Lucia Civil Service Association, CSA, is seeking answers as to why a response is yet to be issued by Prime Minister Alan Shastney to their 2019 letter requesting duty-free concessions for traveling officers. CSA President Cyprian Montrop says he is disappointed in the lack of acknowledgement on the part of the Prime Minister. Jacques Wooding begins our reporting.
The CSA has issued yet another letter to Prime Minister Alan Shastney, regardless of receiving to date no response to their July and August 2019 letters on the matter of issuing duty-free concessions for traveling officers. Months later, another letter makes its way to the desk of the Prime Minister, this time attached to a list of public servants who have authorized the union to forward the request on their behalf. CSA President Cyprian Montrop says the current procedure in place for traveling officers to acquire vehicles to carry out government work is in need of revision. He laments the need to repeatedly write to authorities without even a courteous message of acknowledgement in return.
In 2020, we are expecting that the government of St. Lucia will see the need, especially as it relates to traveling officers, that the government will see the need to compensate them with increases in traveling, and to facilitate them being able to buy vehicles duty-free. Because since we became independent since 1979, to date, officers have been asked to buy their own vehicles to the work of the state and have been compensated through traveling allowance. However, those individuals have to undergo facing financial institutions and paying high interest to acquire vehicles.
Montrop says in the coming year, the association will not drag its feet when pursuing matters which affect the livelihoods of members.
We're asking government to consider the workers to give them duty-free concessions so that they would be in a position to buy vehicles so that they can adequately do their work, at the same time being able to have a better living, because the concession would give them some level of relief that they can generate towards better living for their families.
He hopes in the coming year government agencies and employers see the relevance of maintaining professional relationships with the CSA. For Hot 7 News, I am Jacques Wooding.
Food vendors at the Castries Market are complaining bitterly about the quality of takeaway containers that have replaced phased-out styrofoam and single-use plastic containers. They say their customers are dissatisfied and their livelihoods are being affected. Picking up a quick lunch to go at the Castries Market has become problematic. So say vendors who claim that customers are turned off by the mess that results from using the new eco-friendly food service containers that have replaced the phased-out styrofoam and single-use plastic containers. Food vendor Lynn Honora says the containers are a major issue among her customers.
We're having customers complaining about the food, the sauce soaking up in the plates, and even for me when I serving it, by the time I put the hot sauce or the peas, I can feel at the bottom of it is already getting soft. So I always encourage the customers to try to eat quickly, don't travel with them with the food in them because they'll have a problem. I've had more than one customers returning food to me. As far as I'm concerned, these plates are useless. And I also encourage my usual customers, my normal customers, to bring their bowls to get their food when they know they're coming to get food.
Sylvia Jabatis echoed similar sentiments. She says her sales are being affected because in addition to the limited functionality of the containers, they are also more costly than the old styrofoam and single-use plastic containers. That has caused an increase in the cost of her meals.
The complaint we are getting is the plates are sucking up the sauce from the food from the plates. So right now customers say they don't want it. They do not want them plates. So we don't have any other choice, but we still have to put it. But we do. The people that come in and distribute the plates to us, we complain to them. We tell them, well, tell the manufacturer, whatever, whoever that delivering the plates to them, the complaint we are getting with the customers. But for right now, we still have to put the food in the same plate, although some customers say they don't want it. Some customers simply, they don't even take the food. They just move away from, once they see the plate, they just move. They say they don't want the food.
One customer confirms that the containers make takeaway a hassle.
So pour moi ya quoi les pays plaque des couvrier toute manière à tomber avec soit moi ya resté là dedans plat même papier à boire sauce là et ça même pas bon.
In January 2019, the government announced its intention to phase out the use of styrofoam and selected single-use plastic food service containers in the local food service industry. St. Lucia's journey to reducing single-use plastic commenced on the 1st of August 2019 with a ban on the importation of these items, a ban on the use, manufacturing, sale and distribution of these items will commence from the 1st of August 2020. The phasing out of plastic food service containers and styrofoam has been a global shift toward more sustainable practices. The Public Relations Officer for the Grocery Minibus Owners Association is expressing high hopes for the year 2020. Thomas St. Louis says he's hoping that some of the hurdles which hindered the association in 2019 will be rectified. He says the relationship with the powers that be is being worked on to ensure favorable responses and efforts to address their woes. Rochelle Gonzalez reports.
Where minibus associations are concerned, the Grosse Lane Minibus Owners Association is undeniably the most vocal of them all, and in 2019 they were plagued with a number of pit stops ranging from issues with bad roads, traffic, and a bypass. Hot 7 News caught up with the association's public relations officer Thomas St. Louis, who said for the new year he is hoping that the issues of last year could be ironed out.
What would like to see happen for the transportation sector is upgrading of the system in the terms of, better road access, especially for the north. This is a bit of a challenge for us in terms of the traffic. Would also love to see that our request for the back road is answered by the authorities.
St. Louis said he hopes the promises made by Prime Minister Alan Shasney during his New Year address will be followed through.
Based on the address by the Prime Minister with all the plans, we'd like to see those plans come into action, and for 2020 to be a better year for St. Lucia, because 2019 was quite challenging for us, the Grosse Lane Minibus, Association, and coming this year, we'd like to see some form of improvement in the transportation sector.
St. Louis said he is also hoping that other motorists could learn to show more courtesies to minibus drivers. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I'm Rochelle Gonzalez.
A recent no vending sign placed near a vendor's tray along Jeremy Street has stirred up strong emotions. The vendor is making claims of victimization on the part of the CCC.
Right now,
defiant and irate, one vendor, Josephine Book, says she is tired of the victimization inflicted as a result of the policies imposed by the mayor of Castries, Peterson Francis, and his councilmen. Book says a no vending sign has been placed by her tray where she has been operating for a number of years, with no reason given by those who installed the sign.
I saw the mayor's attaché, which is Conscience, Young Conscience, and Victor Augustine's name, Sweet Juice, come there and they say, I cannot sell there. I only can sell Friday and Saturday. I tell them where I'm going to sell. I have to go to the market or at Strasbourg. I don't have a locker there. I don't have a space. When I sell there, when persons that have the thing there, and they how I'm going to sell.
She says the treatment that vendors are receiving from CCC officials is unfair and unwarranted and has been compounding from the inception of the mayor.
From the time that man come as a mayor and Sweet Juice is following him and he's following Sweet Juice, all vendors is crying. All vendors get poorer than they were. 4 years hard labor underneath Flavo because of that mayor and Sweet Juice. And he telling you, Sweet Juice telling you what he tell the mayor, that's what the mayor does. They put a no vending sign there, they put all over there. 2017, I spoke to the mayor Monday night, which is the 10th of April. When you heard the 12th of April 2017, the mayor turned against me, he mashed up my head. The 28th of September 2018, conscience go with my tent. They held my tent for 6 months.
Book calls on local authorities to bring resolve to what she describes as an unjust situation.
I call in on the local minister, the local government, which is Spider Motot. Say something. Fortuna Bello, say something. Sarah Flood, say something. Because I have to leave. Leave me alone. Y'all in your air condition. I'm not troubling y'all. I still paying $3 every day. What must I do?
Book calls on local authorities to bring resolve to what she describes as an unjust situation. Insert clip. Book remained adamant that she is within her rights and has not broken any laws. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
This is the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Still to come, the fire service receives 2 spanking brand new fire trucks, compliments the government and people of Japan. A former Barbados minister is found guilty of money laundering in the U.S. and the gift of sight is being given to visually impaired children across the island. That and more when we return.